The number one benefit to organ donation is you can save and improve lives. The 1:8 ratio means that for every one organ donor, they can save up to 8 lives, and also improve a potential of hundreds with tissue donation. For deceased donors, family can feel as if their loss was not in vain and can be comforted in the fact that a part of their loved one still continues to live in another person. For living donors, they will do it for humanitarian reasons and overall have a greater appreciation for life. Organ donation also gives opportunities for medical research. There are also some concerns with organ donation. There's always a risk of surgery complication or transplant rejections. In today's world, success rates are about 80 to 90% depending on the specific organ being transplanted, so odds of a complication-free process are good. Secondly, it is very hard for organ donation because of emotional attachment and hardship on families. It is something that's really hard to think about and ultimately decide what to do. The families of deceased donors usually don't get to decide who the organs go to, which can be upsetting because they have no control over what exactly happens to their loved one's organs. There are also some myths associated with organ donation. First of all, people believe that medical professionals will not work as hard to save organ donors' lives. This is not true because the medical professional's first priority is to save their patient's life, whether they are an organ donor or not. Using the patient's organs will not even be discussed until every life-saving option has been utilized and they are completely gone. Another myth people believe is that organ donors will not be able to have an open casket funeral. This is not true because the deceased are fully clothed in the casket, which covers any signs of donation such as scars. Rods will be inserted if they donate their bones, and fake eyeballs are used to maintain the shape of the closed eyelid, and if the skin is taken, it is not noticeable because it is taken from the back and the legs. Organ donation does not disfigure the body in any way, and it will not delay any funeral plans. The third myth is people believe that celebrities will be put at the top of the waiting list. This cannot happen because, like we discussed earlier, the United Network of Organ Sharing, or UNOS, creates a unique list every time an organ becomes available, depending on a variety of factors. Race, gender, age, income, status, or even citizenship are never taken into consideration. Next, the bioethics standpoint on organ donation. Ronald Mudson raises some ethical questions in his textbook, Intervention and Reflection, Basic Issues in Bioethics. The first question is, organ donation ethical? Some people believe that yes, it is ethical because it overall helps save lives, and if they can't use patients' organs anymore, then why can't they go to somebody else? People who don't believe it is ethical think that it might be disrespectful to the dead and is not right to take their body parts away from them, even if they cannot use them anymore. Question number 2 is, should we give organs to people that have the best chance of success? People who believe yes think that the rate of success would be a lot higher and that organ donation would be more effective in the long run. People who think no believe that everyone is entitled to be considered for organ donation, and things like race, gender, age, income, and status should not have any effect on that. Question number 3 is, should we not give organs to people who have created their own health problems? People who think yes believe that the patient is a bad risk and does not have a good chance of long-term survival, and they could easily start bad habits again, like smoking or drinking, and ruin the new organ. People who don't believe that the list needs to be fair, and things like social habits should not be taken into consideration because it is the patient's fault if they start these bad habits again and ruin their health, and they must take responsibility for it. The next question is the policy one donor organ per patient unless the organ will otherwise go to waste fair? People who believe this policy is fair think that the odds of success with a second transplant are significantly lower, and it is not fair to all the other patients waiting in line for that specific organ. People who don't believe this policy is fair think that it's not the patient's fault that the organ failed, and that they should get the next organ available so they don't have to wait through the entire list again. Another controversial topic related to organ donation are savior siblings. A savior sibling is basically a child designed specifically to be a match and born for the purpose of helping their brother or sister survive a fatal illness by donating organs, blood, bone marrow, or whatever else is needed of them. For example, the movie My Sister's Keeper is a perfect example of a family with a terminally ill child and a savior sibling.
Yep.
Starting in 2003, the United States dedicated April to be National Donate Life Month to raise awareness for organ donation. The United States is the fourth highest donor rate in the world, with 26 donors per 1 million people and the highest rate of actual transplant, according to National Transplant Organization. The United States has an opt-in system because people have to choose for themselves whether they want to be a donor or not. In some other countries, they just automatically assume everyone as an organ donor and have an opt-out system where you have to formally go through a process to choose not to donate your organs when you pass away. Other countries offer incentives or compensation for living donors. In Israel, if you are registered to be an organ donor and ever need to transplant yourself, you will have priority over someone who has not chosen to be an organ donor. Also, in Iran, people are allowed to sell their kidneys. Spain has the highest organ donor rate in the world, with 35.3 donors per 1 million people, followed by Croatia and Portugal. This information was taken from the National Transplant Organization. It is illegal to buy or sell organs because of a U.S. law, the National Organ Transplant Act, which is Public Law 98-507, issued in 1984. This way, no one would have advantages or disadvantages due to financial reasons in obtaining organs. Organ donations are considered gifts, and there is no payment or compensation involved whatsoever. Organ trafficking is basically illegal organ harvesting and has been linked to human trafficking before. Since organs are in such high demand, people are willing to get them by any means and pay whatever it takes. The Finance Degree Center estimates that your body is worth up to $45 million on the black market if you utilize every part and chemical possible. For example, your heart is worth $997,700. Your kidney is worth $262,900. Your liver is worth about $557,100. Your corneas are worth about $24,400. Your skeleton varies from $2,993 to $5,500, and your skin is worth about $10 per square inch. In conclusion, if you aren't currently an organ donor, consider becoming one and sign up at yesutah.org because you could end up saving lives.